The orange rolled across the floor, bumping softly into his shoe. Ethan froze. For a moment, the noise of the grocery store faded, the beeping scanners, the murmured conversations, the hum of refrigerators, everything blurred into silence. He bent down slowly, picking up the orange, but his eyes weren't on it anymore. They were on her. The jar slipped from her hands and shattered at her feet. Ethan, her voice trembled, barely above a whisper. 15 years. 15 long, heavy years, and yet, in that single moment, it felt like no time had passed at all. Lena, he said, his throat tightening. She didn't move. Neither did he. Around them, people glanced briefly, annoyed by the broken glass, but to Ethan, the entire world had stopped spinning. And then, a small voice tugged at his sleeve. "Dad, why is that lady crying?" Ethan blinked, reality rushing back like a cold wave. He looked down at his daughter, Mia, her big brown eyes full of confusion. Lena followed his gaze. Her hand flew to her mouth. You have a daughter," she whispered. Ethan nodded slowly. "Yeah. This is Mia." Mia waved shyly. "Hi." Lena's eyes softened, but the tears didn't stop. In fact, they came faster now, as if something inside her had cracked wide open. I'm sorry," she said quickly, stepping back, almost tripping over herself. "I didn't mean to. I should go." "Wait." The word came out sharper than he intended. She froze. Ethan took a step closer, his heart pounding so hard it hurt. Don't disappear again. Not like last time." That hit her. He saw it in the way her shoulders dropped, the way her eyes filled with guilt. "I didn't disappear," she said softly. "You left." 15 years earlier, Ethan had been a different man, reckless, ambitious, convinced that love could wait. Lena had been everything to him back then. His first love. His safe place. The girl who believed in him when he barely believed in himself. But when opportunity knocked, a job in another city, a chance to build something big, he chose it. "I'll come back," he had promised. But life doesn't always wait for promises to be fulfilled. Calls became fewer. Messages shorter. Time stretched the distance between them until one day, it snapped. By the time Ethan realized what he'd lost, Lena was gone. And now, here she was. Standing in front of him. Still the same, and yet completely different. They sat in a small cafe next to the store, Mia happily eating a slice of cake while sneaking curious glances at Lena. Ethan wrapped his hands around his coffee, though he hadn't taken a sip. "I looked for you," he said quietly. Lena gave a faint, sad smile. "Not hard enough." "That's not fair." "Isn't it?" she replied, her voice steady but fragile. "You chose your career, Ethan. You chose to leave. I just stopped waiting." He exhaled, unable to argue. "Because she wasn't wrong. I messed up," he admitted. "I thought I had time. I thought you'd always be there." Lena looked down at her hands. "I would have been." That hurt more than anything else. Silence settled between them, thick and heavy. Mia broke it. "Dad, is she your friend?" Ethan hesitated. "She used to be." Lena's lips pressed together, holding back something deeper. "Can she be your friend again?" Mia asked innocently. Children had a way of cutting through the mess adults created. Ethan looked at Lena. Really looked at her. "Can you?" he asked softly. They started small. A coffee here. A walk there. Occasional texts that slowly became daily conversations. At first, it was awkward, like trying to read a book where you'd forgotten the first half. But piece by piece, memory returned. Laughter came easier. Silences became comfortable instead of painful. Mia adored Lena. And Lena, she tried not to, but she adored Mia even more. "You're a good dad," she said one evening as they watched Mia play in the park. Ethan chuckled. "I try." "What happened?" she asked gently. "To her mom?" Ethan's expression shifted. "She passed away," he said quietly. "When Mia was 2. Lena's heart sank. "Ethan. I didn't know. I didn't tell many people," he admitted. "After that, everything just changed. I had to grow up fast." She nodded, understanding more than he said. Life had humbled him. Maybe that's why fate brought them back together now, when they were no longer the same people who had broken each other. But healing isn't simple. One evening, as rain tapped softly against the windows, Lena finally said what had been building inside her. "I'm scared," she admitted. Ethan looked up. "Of what?" "Of this," she said. "Of us. Of believing again, and losing everything again." He swallowed. "That won't happen," he said instinctively. "You don't know that," she replied, her voice trembling. "You didn't mean to hurt me the first time either." He had no easy answer. So he told the truth. "I can't promise I'll never make mistakes," he said. "But I can promise I won't walk away again. Not from you. Not from something that matters this much." She searched his face, looking for doubt, for hesitation. But there was none. Only sincerity. And maybe, that was enough. Months passed. Seasons changed. And slowly, carefully, 2 broken paths began to merge again. Ethan learned to open his heart again, not just as a father, but as a man. Lena learned to trust again, not blindly, but bravely. And Mia, she simply loved them both, without fear, without doubt. One evening, standing in the same grocery store where it all began again, Ethan reached for an orange. He smiled. "Funny how something so small can change everything." Lena laughed softly. "You mean dropping groceries is life-changing now?" "For me, it was." He turned to her, his expression serious. "I thought I lost my chance with you," he said. "But life gave me another one. And I'm not wasting it." Lena's eyes shimmered. "You better not," she teased, though her voice carried emotion. Mia tugged both their hands. "Can we go home now?" Ethan and Lena exchanged a glance. Home. The word felt different now. Fuller. Warmer. "Yeah," Ethan said, squeezing both their hands. "Let's go home. Sometimes, life doesn't give you a second chance. But sometimes, when you least expect it, in the middle of an ordinary grocery store aisle, it does. And when it does, you have to be brave enough to take it. Because love, real love, isn't about never making mistakes. It's about finding your way back, and choosing, every single day, not to let go again."